season 2. Hey.
Jam
Woo,
it.
woo, woo, woo. Love that intro. You know, Doc, just before the show, we were listening to some other music by Dr. Roberto Burton. That brother
Listen,
is fire.
the music is hot. The
That
music is
doctor,
fire.
the music is fire. The music is fire. Shout out to Dr. Burton. Well, this is doing the Doctorate podcast season 2. Welcome, welcome, everybody. We are so excited to be here. I am Dr. Kesselin, host of the podcast, a doctoral coach, higher ed administrator and teacher, author, speaker, all of that good stuff. But you all know I don't do this podcast by myself. In the show with me is the co-host, the early childhood educator extraordinaire, the STEM Early founder, STEM Early LLC, Dr. O. Hey,
Hey,
oh, hey,
hey,
oh, hey,
oh.
oh, what's going on? How you doing? How you doing?
I am good. I am doing well this evening. I'm excited to be here. I'm excited about just what you're going to share today. I was looking through the notes. I was looking through the quote. I'm not going to give any spoiler alerts, but you all are in for a really great show. So grab your pens, grab your notes. Listen, note takers are what? History makers. So let's
Come
get
on,
into it.
come on. See, she is already starting with fire, y'all. She is already starting with fire. Listen, before we get into the show, make sure that you do us a favor. Like, share, follow, subscribe on YouTube. Dr. Kesselin everywhere. STEM Early. Dr. O is at STEM Early. We want y'all to be our friends, our family. So follow, subscribe, like, share, all of that good stuff. We are on Facebook, IG, YouTube, LinkedIn. I was gonna say Twitter. X.
No, X.
X. X. X. Okay, X.
We're there too.
We are everywhere. So make sure you follow us. We want to be your friends. We want to be friends.
Yes.
And make sure you go to drkesselin.com, the website. There is a free doctoral success resource guide for you. I felt it coming. I was trying to keep
It's
it
all
in,
good. It's all good.
there's a free doctoral success resource for you. People ask me all the time, what are the tools that you use to analyze your data or to help you with your lit review? Or they ask me all sorts of questions. And so I compiled a resource guide for you on the website, drkesselin.com. So go to the homepage, scroll down a little bit, and it's there. It's about to be updated, and it may not be free anymore. So you want to get it?
You better get it.
Listen, you might want to get it
Yes.
like now, okay?
Tonight.
You might want to get it like tonight, now. All right. So you want to do that. So this season we have dedicated our time and energy toward developing a doctoral community. We want you all to be in a community. There is nothing like community to help you through the journey. But before we give you some of the doctor's orders and some of the nuggets, let's start our show with our doctoral thought, our doing the doctorate thought. Yes. And the thought for this show is, so true.
So good.
People may criticize your research, but that doesn't make it less factual, less important, or less relevant. Do it anyway. People may criticize your research. They may. But that doesn't make it less factual, less important, or less relevant. Do it anyway. Hello. Do it anyway. I always talk about persist. Do it anyway. Persist. Come on, Doc. Your thoughts.
I mean, do it anyway, because they're
anyway.
going to criticize you. Your research matters. Your research is important. And here's my thing. When you are doing your research and you are being criticized, here's what I want you to do. Don't let pain be the lens in which you view people. Because they're going to...
Wait, let that breathe. Don't let pain be
take her earbud out.
It fell out. It just was so hot. The quote was so hot, it just fell out. Don't let pain be the lens through which you
view people. Here's why I say that. Because we're human. So we're going to get criticized. We talked about last Sunday about how our research is like our baby, right? And when people pick our baby apart, it's like they're going to be calling us ugly. And you know, so you're going to do it anyway. But let's keep
Yes.
it real. The criticism, it is going to hurt. It's going to hurt, whether it's critique or criticism, because I don't believe in constructive criticism, because by definition, those words
Mm,
are dichotomous.
mm, mm,
Criticism is designed to tear down. So
mm.
when I'm criticizing, I am picking something apart. So when
Yes.
somebody picks something apart, especially your research, whether they're doing it out of love or out of, jealousy, it's going to hurt.
It hurts.
But what you need to do is make sure you are not now internalizing and now viewing people through the lens of pain, because it's going to skew your research.
Mm-hmm.
So you're
Mm-hmm.
going to be criticized. You got to
Mm-hmm.
do it anyway, but you got to remain focused, which
Yes.
which leads me to
Yes.
community, where you can vent that pain, where you can let that pain out and say, you know what, Dr. Kesslin, when my reviewer said this, this, and this, it really hurt, because I spent all
Yes.
this time on a lit review and she basically told me it was a piece of trash, and now I'm feeling this way. And you have to get that out and talk with your community members, so
Because
that way
it's real.
it's
The
so
pain is
real.
real.
It's
Yeah.
real. So that
Yeah.
way, when you go back to meet with your dissertation chair or your professor or whatever, you're not sitting there looking at them through the lens of pain,
Yes.
because that's
Yes.
going to skew your research. And
Yeah.
so when you said that, I was like, listen, do it anyway,
Do it
but
anyway.
do it in community, so you can process through the
Yes.
pain that's going to come in this
Yes.
journey, because this journey is not going to be pain free.
That's right. And sometimes it's going to feel like it's personal. It's going to feel personal, but do it anyway.
Do it anyway.
Why? And I always say it. Why do you need to do your research? Your research
Research matters.
matters.
Absolutely.
It matters.
100%.
People will be freed because of the research that you do. And
Yes.
yes, it's going to be difficult,
Yes.
but do it
Do it
anyway.
anyway.
Do it anyway.
Anyway.
Do it anyway. Yeah.
Good stuff.
All right, our doctoral roll call. Every week,
Listen.
we want doctors to let us know that you're with us. So, if you're with us and you have a doctoral degree, please tell us who you are, what your degree is in. We want people to know that you can get a doctoral degree in almost any subject, right?
Yes.
Any area will provide you the opportunity to get a doctoral degree. So, type your name in the chat. Tell us what your doctoral degree is in. And if you feel comfortable, tell us what school you received your doctoral degree from. All right. We like to shout out
Shout
doctors. We
it
like to shout out doctors. And then we always, every week, we always honor a person who is doing amazing work. We call this segment the Doctors on Duty.
Mm-hmm.
And we give a shout out to those folk who are doing amazing work. And this week, that's Nyla. Nyla wants to, that's my dog. Nyla wants to shout them out too. Nyla's like,
shout out.
She's giving her a shout out. This week, I want to shout out a person who has meant so much in my life, but clearly the person has meant not just much in my life and has been there for me for over 30 years at this point.
Wow.
This person has been an entrepreneur, a service provider. This person has published books.
Wow.
Books. This person has been a social work educator for more than 30 years. In fact, this person is one of the reasons this person is the reason I got my doctoral degree. I remember when this person was going through their doctoral program and they finally finished, and I saw those 3 bars. Come on, the bars.
Come on, bars.
Oh,
Bars.
I saw the bars, and I saw that bad robe, and I saw that tam, and I was like, I don't know what I have to do to get that.
I'm gonna get that.
But I like that. And then this person became my supervisor at one point. And she said, Kesslin, do you want to stay in social work education? And I said, absolutely. I mean, I'm surprised, but I love it. She said, well, I need you to go to get your doctorate. I was like, I don't really know if I love it that much. I don't know if I
Wait a
love
minute.
it.
Wait a minute.
Right. I don't know if I love it that much. But she said, you can do it. And so this weekend, I was at the Council on Social Work Education's annual program meeting. And this person, one of my dearest, most supportive mentors, I will call her and say, I need a mentoring moment. And she'll make time for me. But clearly, she has made time for so many others, because this weekend at the Council on Social Work Education's annual program meeting, this person received the Lifetime Achievement Award, which is the highest award in social work education. So this week, we honor my mentor, Dr. Edith Clay Fraser. Why? Because she did that.
She did that.
Man,
congratulations.
She's amazing. Oh, the books that she's written with her husband. She's retired, but she's still teaching. And guess what? There are people around the world who hold her in such high regard. So I am honored to honor her and to just shout her out for receiving this Lifetime Achievement Award. Congratulations, Dr. Edith Fraser. You did that. And you're still doing that.
And still doing it.
And still doing it. And in retirement. From, I believe, more than one place. I mean, she's amazing. She's amazing.
That's exciting.
Yeah.
That's so good.
So, Doc, we always, let me go back. If you have a recommendation or a nomination for our Doctor on Duty segment, send me an email. Dr. Kesslin at the PhD Consultants. Send me an email and some information about this person, and we want to shout them out. We've given a shout out to lots of doctors on duty, and we want to shout out more doctors. So if you have a recommendation or nomination, let us know. Let us know. The other thing that we do every week is we post, usually on my social media pages, IG and Facebook, I post that we're getting ready for our podcast. If you have a question for Dr. O or Dr. Kesslin, type it in the comments. Type it in the comments.
We got a good one tonight.
We got a good one.
We got a good question. Listen.
And I really, listen, this is like, oh goodness. So the question was, what are the 5 steps to dissertation writing for dissertation success? What are the 5 steps for dissertation writing for dissertation success? So for those of you who may not know, there are typically 5 chapters in a dissertation.
Yep.
5 chapters. Some schools have 6. Most schools don't have 4, but typically there are 5 chapters. If you're in the area of religion or divinity, you may have a 6th chapter because you have to contextualize and use the kind of biblical narrative. But 5 chapters. The first chapter is your introductory chapter, right? Step 1, introductory chapter. You're going to tell us a bit about the background, the history, why this issue is important, and what you intend to do. It's really short, just an overview, right? Just an overview. Chapter 2. Most people dread chapter 2.
Oh, the dreaded.
Chapter 2 is the literature review. This is how I sit when I work with clients. This is how
I have PTSD right now.
Right?
Thinking about it.
I'm working with some folk right now, and they're having some PTSD too. But chapter 2 is the literature review, and basically, you are scouring all of the literature related to your topic because you are the expert. You have to know what's there and what's not there. And chapter 2 simply is the process to let the reader know what we know about this topic, 1. Then you have to analyze and think through, do some critical thinking to answer what we don't know about this topic, right? That's question 2. And question 3, what am I going to do to fill this gap? So what is the purpose of my research in addressing what we don't know? And that's all chapter 2 is, simply. Question 1, what do we know about this topic? Question 2, like all aspects of the topic. Question 2, what are the gaps? What don't we know? And why is it important? And question 3, how am I going to fill the
gaps?
Right? So that's chapter 2. Summarily, that's chapter 2. And in chapter 3, you're going into more detail about how you plan. What is the process? What is your
Mm-hmm.
method for answering the questions, right? The questions that evolve about what we don't know and why it's important. How are you going to find the answer? That's your methodology question. That's step 3. So intro, the beautiful literature
The
review,
beautiful lit review,
and the methodology. And then you're going to get approval to do the research or to
yep.
analyze the data. You're going to go through IRB, and then that leads you to step number 4. So you're gathering all the data, you have this information. Step number 4, analyzing the data and telling us what it says.
Yeah.
What did you find out, right?
Mm-hmm.
How so question 3, step number 3 is how are you going to find the answers? Or that's before, what did you do to find the answers? And step number 4, what are the answers?
What are the answers? Yeah.
What are the findings? Like, tell me what you found.
Mm-hmm.
When you asked your questions or you gave your surveys or you combed through the existing information, what'd you find? And step number 5, what does it mean? What does it mean for now and for the future in regards to my area of interest, in regards to whatever that is? What does it mean? Implications. What are the implications for now and the future? Those are the 5 steps. In most cases, to completing your dissertation. Introduction, literature review, methodology, findings, and implications. More or less, that's it.
That's
now,
it.
I've simplified
You're like, that's it.
but right, that's it. But in reality, people don't know. Like, I remember starting the dissertation, and I was like, what am I supposed to be doing?
What are we doing?
Because it's lonely. Nobody tells you. So I like to simplify things. I hope that was a simple answer for a complex process.
Process.
So, oh gosh. So writing the dissertation. Yeah, look, don't let it scare you.
Yes.
When I do speeches, I really say this is a process that we've engaged in all of our lives. I've always been a questioner. I tell people I used to get in trouble for asking questions. But now I know I was a researcher all along. I just had questions and I wanted answers. And so that's all research is. Like, you have to do it ethically. You have to do it in a manner that makes sense, that actually answers the specific question. But it's just asking a question and getting the answer.
Yeah.
All right. So those are the 5 steps to writing the dissertation. For the person who asked me that question, you know who you are.
I love that question.
Yeah, I love that question. Anything else, Doc? Anything else?
No, I think you've simplified a very complicated process to say the absolute least. And the thing about the writing process is you can be thinking about 1, 2, and 3 before you even apply to a program.
Yeah, and you should. I talk about that in my Doing the Doctorate book. You should.
Yeah, you should. Yeah. You should be thinking about what are you passionate about, and start reading about those things and looking at what gaps do you see. And I think that's so cool. Like, that's something unique to the doctoral process, because even in my master's program, I took a lot of education courses in my master's, because I have a master's in education as well, and also in sports management, which you probably didn't know.
I didn't. Wait a minute.
Yeah, I know. That's the whole. Like, I wasn't sure if I wanted to go the athletic director route and higher ed.
I can so see that though.
I wasn't sure, so I did both.
Wait a minute.
I did both.
Wait a minute. I felt cheated. I have known you for
forever.
At least 20 years. I feel cheated.
Most people don't know that. I have a master's in sports management.
I need you all to put in the comments a side eye emoji.
Side eye. Are you looking at me with a
side eye emoji for Dr. O? Okay.
Anyway, what I'm saying is that in the doctoral process, right? When we are reading, and we are reading for our lit review, we're reading with a critical eye to look at what's missing. Yes. And I didn't read that way in my master's program. And I'm wondering if I actually read all the literature about sports management and athletic administration with a critical eye to see what was missing if I would have taken more of an interest in it. Because I didn't read that way. And as I
Well, we
look
weren't
back,
taught to read that
no,
way.
we weren't.
No.
We weren't. So
And that's what makes the doctorate different.
Exactly. And so that's why I was like, oh my goodness, just to think about my master's program and the oodles of research that we read for both my education and my sports management tracks. I never was taught to read it with a critical eye to see what was missing.
So important.
And that's so cool.
See, we're
go
about
ahead.
to. I'm
Go
about.
ahead.
Okay,
I know.
so I'm about to go down.
Just go ahead.
So listen, our educational process is not, my opinion, is not set up in the early stages to promote critical thinking.
No.
We are taught to be obedient, to read and regurgitate.
Yep.
Which is step one in learning, right? But we're not taught to process what you're reading. We're not taught to ask critical thinking questions. We're not. In fact, if you were, I talk about it all the time. Many of us, when we raise our hands in class, the teacher says, put it down. Ooh. Or maybe we just blurt out a question that just comes to mind and the teacher's like, why are you being so disruptive? Right. But those are the beginning stages of the critical thing, the doctors to come, right?
Yes.
So, and I can tell you this from some of the folks that I'm working with, they really struggle in the literature review section because it's not just about regurgitating.
Right.
It's about processing what you're reading from a critical lens.
From a critical lens.
People, I say it all the time. The dissertation is not a research paper.
It's not.
I mean, it's not your typical research paper. So anyway, that's
a whole nother rabbit trail.
Okay, maybe that's the next show. We'll
maybe. Season 3.
Yeah, season three. The power of the question. Season 3.
Yes.
So anyway, sorry.
I know we're not supposed to go down the rabbit trail.
I mean, let's keep going. We're here now.
But so I'm reading Bishop Jake's latest book called Disruptive Thinking. Mm-hmm. And when I think about the doctoral process and chapter 2 with the literature review, you're reading it to disrupt what was written. Like, so you're not reading it to say, that's how we were taught to read. We were taught to read like, this is knowledge, and I just need to consume it and not question it. Consume, don't question. Because if you question, then you are somehow like not, compliant. But with this book I'm reading, he's saying if you're not looking at things with a disruptive lens, like who wrote this? Mm-hmm. When did they write this? Why did they write this?
Where were they in the world?
Come
on. What was the context?
Right? So this is why this is such a unique process, and it's a beautiful process. It is a complicated process, but it will really, really grow you and stretch you. And if you do it in community, you will find that it is much smoother and easier than if you do it alone. If you do it alone, if you go back to that quote with the criticism, the frustration, the isolation, it will consume you to the point where many people don't finish.
Absolutely.
And I don't know what the stats are, but many people start and do not finish.
50%.
Is that many?
Yes. 50% of people. So 1 to 4% of applicants on average are accepted into doc programs. 50% of those do not finish.
Jesus.
Yeah. 50%.
I mean, like, this is why community is crucial.
Yes. Absolutely.
It needed a whole season. 50%.
50% do not finish. Yes.
Type in the chat. It won't be me.
Loans.
Just type in the chat.
It won't be me.
It won't be me. Put that in the chat. It won't be me.
That's why my clients call me Moses, because I'm like, listen, once you get on this ship for me.
Listen, we not, what she say? You not turning back.
You ain't turning back.
Ain't turning back.
Because we need you.
Yeah.
Anyway, see, I felt some help coming.
Woo! This is what we do, y'all. This is what we do.
And so now with 5 minutes left.
what we got time for?
Doctor's orders. Okay, let's see. Doctor's orders. So we've been talking about community. I've told you that there are Oh, see, I'm looking at two different things. Your community is supposed to give you knowledge, resource, and experiences. I gave you some of the benefits. But now, this week, I'm going to tell you some things to not look for, or to some things to look for that can negatively impact your
Okay.
doctoral experience in your community. When you are looking for folk to be in your doctoral community, you want to steer clear of people who are negative.
Whoop, whoop,
Negative
whoop, whoop,
attitudes, you
whoop,
don't need those. I didn't
whoop,
say
whoop,
honest. You need honesty,
whoop,
but
whoop.
you can be honest and not be negative.
Yep.
The process itself already challenges
Right. Right.
your wherewithal, your ability to. You already struggle with imposter syndrome, which we'll talk about probably next week.
Mm,
But you don't need any more negativity. You need honesty, but you need support. So if you are encountering a person who is negative, not honest, but negative,
yeah.
go the other way. A person who is overbearing. I hear so many stories of people who are either on doctoral committees or doctoral coaches or friends who are overbearing. They tell you, you must do this research. You must do it this way. You must. And they are overbearing. They're overbearing. They dominate discussions. They disregard your input. This is your research. Yes, there are best practices, but it's your research and you should not be dominated. I've heard of people who have been forced to change their topic completely to comply with what their mentor is researching. Why? Because it helps the mentor, but that's not what you want to do.
Wow.
Yes, yes. So you want to steer clear of people who are overbearing. They stifle your creativity. They disregard your input. They dominate the discussions. You don't even want to. You don't want to collaborate with them. You don't want to dialogue.
No.
People who are inflexible. This goes with one, two, and I'll stop here. People who are inflexible. The reality is there are a million ways to do research.
Yes.
There are a million theories. You talked about lenses. A theory is just a lens through which you see an issue, oftentimes influenced by your own experience. That's a topic for another day. But a theory is just a lens. There are millions of theories and lots of practices and methods for conducting research. And if you're working with a person who's not working with you, helping you kind of weave through, they're not flexible enough to help you process what those options are, then they may not be the right folk for your doctoral community.
Mm-hmm.
So you want to steer clear of them. Okay, let me give one more. One more. A lack of commitment.
Mm.
I hear so many stories about folk who are in doctoral communities who the student or the candidate doesn't feel is committed to them and their success.
Yeah.
They don't return feedback. They
Yeah.
don't give
Yeah.
you, you've paid this money and yet you've got nothing. Those folk are not committed to your success. So, and Nyla is giving the amen as
He
she's
says,
barking.
"Amen."
She's like, roof, roof, amen, right? Negative attitudes, you don't need them. Overbearing personalities, you don't want them. Inflexibility does you no good. And a lack of commitment will set you back. So those type of folk do not make good doctoral committee members. So steer clear of them.
That's good.
Amen. Anything, Doc? Anything
Man,
else?
these sound like people who have the wrong heart posture.
Mm.
And when you entangle yourself with people with the wrong posture, they will thwart your purpose. So you
Pause. Did you?
stop. Ah!
When you hang with people who have the wrong heart posture, they will thwart your purpose. Right? Put that in the chat, somebody. Listen.
What are we calling these oisms?
Oh, yes, oisms, man. Oh, please, oisms. This is your next book, The Oisms of STEM Early. Yes.
And the reason why I say that is because sometimes it's not about them being the wrong people, because they could be the right people.
And great people.
And great people. They just have the wrong posture. And so right people, wrong posture equals missed purpose. And you don't want to miss the purpose, right? And so it's not about, I can't be friends with them, I can't hang out with them. We're not saying that. We're saying in your doctoral community, for the purpose of the research, you have to make sure that the people in your community have the right posture, that they're not negative, that they're not overbearing, that they're not inflexible. Because if they are, they're going to make you miss purpose, and you're going to go down the wrong path, right? Which is what you were mentioning, like somebody saying, do what I want to do because it's going to help me, or you know what I mean, or just overbearing, like you're going to do this, you have to do that, and you don't need that. You don't need that, and you need to be in a space where if that is happening to you, that you can talk with someone like Dr. Kesslin that can help you navigate that space instead of doing what 50% of the people are doing, which is just quitting.
Yeah. I had talking about right posture, right heart posture. So I have a group every Monday night. Every Monday night, it used to be Sunday, now it's Monday. Every Monday night, I have a group of doctoral folk who come together. And I had to give some difficult, honest feedback about one of the documents that I was reviewing. But I said, you can do this. You can do this. Your research is really important, and you can do this. And the person still felt, they know that I love them, and they know that, I'm with you. We're going to get this done. But I also recognize that it was difficult to hear. But on Tuesday, in fact, I said on Monday, I know this is painful. I'm calling you tomorrow to check in because I don't want you to be devastated. And I text the next day and I was like, just checking in, just wanting to make sure you're okay. All right. I told you I was going to give you a day because I know that pain. I know that pain. I gave you a day. All right, let's go. Here's what we need. Right? Because I have to be honest, but I'm also committed to your process. We will get this done.
Absolutely.
My heart posture is I know that your research matters. So I need to help you get the research because people are going to be impacted.
I love it.
That's the goal. That's what it's all about.
Yeah.
Really, impacting communities in a positive way. All right, we're over time as we are every week.
But only 4 minutes. Okay. Dr. Jones, we're only He's in the back shaking his head.
He's like, these girls, they get the talking. All right, what's up, Doc? Where are you going? Where you headed?
You know what? This week is a quiet week.
Hey!
It's a quiet week, and I'm very grateful because come next week and in November, we start the travel world again. I'm excited about we turned in our reviews for our book. I don't have any trainings this week. So I'm really just going to be focusing on doing more lit review because it never stops.
It never stops, right? It never stops. Yeah. So this week, let's see, what week are we in? This is my crazy season. So I won't say crazy, it's my blessed season to be able to do this amazing work. Between CSWE's annual program meeting honoring Dr. Fraser, I am preparing in a CSW, I'm the interim executive director for the North American Association of Christians in Social Work. Our convention is coming up, so we are in the throes. There's still time to register, nacsw.org. And then on November 17th, I am preparing for our doctoral success summit. So that's coming up. I'm excited about that. You'll be hearing more about that, and registration will open soon. So that's my week. All right, Doc.
We're done.
Are we good?
We did it.
We're checking out.
Season 2.
Season 2, Doctoral Communities. All right, y'all. We really got to go. We'll talk to you soon. Thank y'all so much for being with us. Remember, the doctoral degree, it's not merely a degree of intelligence. It is a degree of persistence. And we are here to help you persist, all right? Hang in there. Love you. Love you, Mom and Dad. Talk to you soon. Bye.